Week 5 fantasy football rankings highlight the rising and falling stocks of players across key positions. Quarterbacks, stock up. Jordan Love, who finished as the QB2 against the Vikings in Week 4, faces a favorable matchup against the Rams, a team allowing the 5th most fantasy points to quarterbacks. Justin Fields also rises after a 32-point performance, with 367 total yards and 3 touchdowns, facing a Dallas team that struggled against rushing quarterbacks, allowing the 2nd most rushing yards to the position. Stock down. Trevor Lawrence has disappointed, ranking QB 16 or worse in all 4 weeks, and facing a Colts defense that may give up points but hasn't allowed Lawrence to perform consistently. Sam Darnold is another quarterback to temper expectations for, as he's riding an unsustainable touchdown rate and now faces the Jets' stingy defense, which has allowed the fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks since last season. Running backs, stock up. DeAndre Swift continues to deliver, posting a monster 165-yard, 1-touchdown game in Week 4, and now faces a Panthers defense that allowed 170 yards and 3 touchdowns to running backs last week. Alexander Mattison becomes the Raiders' lead back with Zamir White out, making him a volume-based top 24 option as he faces a favorable matchup against a Panthers defense that's vulnerable to running backs. Stock down. Brian Robinson Jr. will play despite a knee injury, but won't have the same upside, especially with the return of Austin Ekeler. The Browns' defense also presents a tough matchup, limiting running backs to the 6th fewest fantasy points. Zach Moss sees his stock fall as well, as the Ravens' defense has allowed just 2.7 yards per carry, the best mark in the league. Wide receivers, stock up. Amari Cooper continues to thrive and now faces Washington's secondary, which has given up the most fantasy points to wide receivers. Dontavian Wicks is poised for a breakout game after receiving 13 targets last week and taking on a Rams defense that struggles against the pass. Stock down. DJ Moore has been inefficient despite his 7th-ranked target share among receivers. He's unlikely to break out this week with the Panthers up next. Jacoby Myers faces a tough matchup against Denver's Patrick Surtain II, making him better suited for benches this week. Tight ends, stock up. Travis Kelce is in prime position to return to elite status. He could be the overall TE1 this week, taking advantage of a concentrated target share. Tucker Kraft is another tight end to watch, as Green Bay's depleted receiver corps makes him a top 10 option. Stock down. Dalton Schultz continued to struggle and finished as TE18 last week, making him droppable in most leagues.